Well, thank you for your time today. Hopefully, um, it won't be too long, but I noticed that I posted on my Instagram that I was going to be interviewing you and used the wrong album. I put your first album down instead of your most recent one, so I had to change it. But it does bring up a question. The two albums, are they interconnected? The first one came out in 2019, I believe, and the second one
Yeah.
2025.
Yep.
Is there a connection or is there a departure from what you guys did in 2019 with your newest album, which is My
Uh,
Flesh is Afraid, but I'm not?
a little bit of both. I would say that thematically, Sean and I tend to um, be a little bit dystopian in our artistic type of worldview. Um, so that definitely plays a lot into the writing style and the lyrical content.
Mm,
Uh, but as far as producing and writing the music, they came from two very different places. With the first record, we joined together as a band, wrote and recorded the record very quickly. Um, it was easily the quickest turnaround that I've ever had for any musical project that I've been a part of. Um, the second one ended up taking about 6 years. So
yeah.
kind of took the opposite approach where the intention was always to give the songs a little bit more breathing room in the writing process to just kind of explore some things that we had tapped into with the first record that maybe we didn't fully actualize the potential of. So
Yeah.
definitely wanted to spend more time, um, but we wrote a majority of the music during the pandemic, so um, that put the brakes on things a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, and with the downtime and the lack of being able to actually get out and perform, it kind of made sense to, let's take this time and really make the best record that we possibly can. Just really, really go nuts and really dive into the material and just see what happens. And as things started opening back up, I kind of was stuck
Mm,
in that creative hole, and was just really doubting what we had written, um, wondering if, I mean, I completely lost perspective on it. You know what I mean? Just wondering, are these songs even any good? Like I've heard them so many times, I can't even tell. I've re-recorded guitars so many times, I can't even tell. Um, in the end, super proud, really happy with how things turned out, and I can't see doing it any other way. I don't think we would have been able to um, end up with the record that we did had we not kind of gone through that journey.
yeah.
Um, so in a strange way, I feel like I was on the path that I needed to be all along. I just didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah. That probably lends itself a little bit to that dystopian thought process and how it feels like everything seems meaningless at the time, but in looking back, it actually was genius. It helped you write what you did.
Absolutely. Not that I'm calling myself a genius, but
No, but I am. So the
well,
lyrics
yeah,
are great. So I think and it seems to be a departure from your previous bands too, that you've been in. So it's I mean not a big departure, but it feels like it's a different turn. So is that
yeah,
any different than like your previous bands that you've been in?
absolutely. I mean, aside from Dillinger, which is a completely separate beast,
Yeah.
and maybe more in line with what Shock Narcotic is all about. But at the end of the day, um, I wasn't a part of Dillinger in any type of real creative sense.
Okay.
My contributions to that band were very minimal
Okay.
and were strangely limited to lyrics and vocal melodies and harmonies
Hmm.
and stuff. Um, which again, very proud of that the work
Yeah.
that I did. But um, it it there was a void left, like I'm a guitar player, I love playing guitar, I love performing. Um, and that just it was clear that that wasn't probably gonna happen with that band. So
Yeah.
uh and yeah, and any other band where I was kind of a creative partner in, um always definitely on the rock and heavy side, but nothing as extreme as what Shock is all about, which was really the big appeal to me because I've been listening to metal, grind, thrash, whatever, since I was a kid.
Hmm.
But for some strange reason, never really tested the boundaries of what I could do as a guitar player, as a writer in that sort of realm. Um, so when the opportunity finally came, when Sean was the guy, he was the common thread. Sean and I have known each other for a long time, and we've always wanted to do something together. But schedules
Yeah.
don't align. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. Finally, the stars aligned, and he was like, "I know this dude Don from Battlecross."
Hmm.
And on the first record, it was he's like, "I know Zach. He used to play in Black Dahlia, and he's in a band called Shit Life. That's super cool." Um, and I was like, "Yeah, man, this seems like the time to finally do it." So I'm glad that it worked out, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And it seems like it's more your baby too. You got to wrap your arms around every aspect of it. So it makes it more personal, more fulfilling, I would think.
yeah, for sure. Once we got in a room, and the the first the first day of a new band is always kind of awkward.
Mm.
It's almost like being on a first date with three other people. You're
Yeah.
just like, so like, what are you into? Like, what do you do for fun? Um,
It's like The Bachelor.
yeah, seriously, no, it really is. But so we banged out some riffs and stuff, and just went back, and I sat down and I recorded some of the stuff that we worked on that first day. But then the more we talked about it, Sean was like, "I think you should just write all the riffs and just take musically." He's like, "I'll do the artistic and lyrical side, and then Don and Zach will come in and kind of put the top layer on it, and just kind of add their personality in the end."
Yeah.
Um, we've all been doing this for so long, and we more or less have figured out when it comes to forming a new band or just playing with different people, uh, what works and what doesn't work. And I think we recognize like quickly that it'll be more, I don't want to say it'll be more efficient, but sort of, if it's just one guy. I mean, I've I've been in those types of bands where it's just people butting heads about, I think we should do it this way, and then another guy's like, well, no, I think we should do it this way, and then you
Yeah.
spin your wheels for an entire day, and at the end of the day, you've got nothing, you know,
Yeah.
or at least like maybe one guy is happy and the other three are just like, I don't even like this song anymore, so who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
Um, so we tried to just make it as um just defining the roles right off the bat, and everybody was cool with it, and I think it worked well. So um yeah, that was definitely something new for me too, just kind
Yeah.
of being the musical leader and just like this presenting the songs and if somebody has a really strong opinion about, like, hey, we should maybe, like, what would you think about trying this or extending this part? It's not like I'm going to be like, no, this
Yeah.
is my song and you just go away.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but yeah, for the most
Well,
part, it's just kind of my mind just racing 1,000
yeah.
miles an hour and just, plugging that in and seeing what comes out.
Oh, it sounds like a good description of the music. It's fast, it's hard, it's perfect. So, and it seems to have caught the eye of a lot of people, particularly Phil and Selmo from Pantera. I know that his label has actually put out your two records, your two albums. How did
Yep.
you guys get hooked up with him
That
or
was
with
Sean.
Pantera?
That was Sean again.
Yeah.
Sean, well, Child Bite was already working with Housecore.
Oh, okay.
Um, so it was kind of a natural progression.
Yeah.
Uh, Sean was just like, it doesn't hurt to ask. Um, so they were cool with it. They liked the idea of, um, it's not like we were a bunch of unknown people. He was like,
Right.
we got this dude from this band, we got this other dude from another band. So it was, um, the resume kind of spoke for itself, I think, and they trusted it. And we recorded a few demos to just be like, this is kind of the direction, and they were like, cool, just do what you're gonna do, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So
Yeah.
it
That's
was
awesome.
very, yeah, no, it was very, it was very sort of nonchalant and almost alarming because I had said like very early on with the formation of the band, um, I said, I didn't know that being in a band could be this easy.
Yeah.
You
Right?
know?
It
Because
sounds like pieces all fit right.
yeah, and there's sort of this idea that art has to be difficult and it has to be hard in order for it to be meaningful, that you have to just um just wade your way through the depths of the shit
Yeah.
to just, own it, and like this is what we went through to come up with this, and it was this huge challenge, and but we're the better for it. Um, and that's how it's been for a lot of bands that I've been in, but for this it was just like, here's the songs, and they're like, okay, cool, let's record them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, there was not like this huge which is also helped get that first album out so quickly because there wasn't all of that back and forth.
Yeah. And maybe
And
that's why you were like, this was too quick. I need to rethink this. We got this
no, for
album
sure.
together too fast. There's something wrong. But there really wasn't. It just worked well. The pieces all
Yeah,
fit.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, then I guess you guys did go on tour with Amon Amarth. You probably just came back, right? At the end of July, with Amon Amarth and with
Oh,
Pantera.
we um we were only supposed to do 4 days to begin with. It was
Yeah.
going to be very short. Our drummer Adam was in Europe at the beginning of that Pantera tour, so we we jumped on
Oh,
when he was able to come back, and we had never actually all played in a room with him
yeah.
at that time. He recorded his drums
Yeah.
separately, so we also had that to contend with. He flew in. We had 2 days of rehearsals, and then we did our record release show in town, and then drove overnight to the first show. As we're pulling in to the Hershey, Pennsylvania, the for the first show, we get the phone call that Zach Wild has to leave the tour to attend
Oh,
his funeral.
yeah.
So what was already supposed to be a very limited run turned into an extremely limited run. So
Yeah.
we got to play 2 shows, but two is definitely better than none. And they were, for me, two just amazing nights.
Yeah.
I've been a huge Pantera fan ever since I was a little kid. So to there was a definite moment when I'm watching Pantera. Phil comes out and he's he's wearing our shirt on stage, and
Oh.
it's kind of like it was it was a definite like
Yeah.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. And hopefully maybe there'll be more times in the future where you guys can pair up again. That would be cool.
I hope
So,
so. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So what's on the records for a future? Like, are you guys ever coming to the West Coast, like for festivals like Aftershock or anything, or
I
just
would
any tours coming up?
we don't have anything lined up at the moment. The other side of sort of the agreement that we came to when we formed was this band was going to be very like no pressure.
Right.
It's we are um all like in our mid to late 40s.
Mhm.
We've done the van thing, sleeping at rest stops, we eating ramen noodles every single meal every
Yeah.
day. We've been there, done that. So with this one, it was I hate to use the cliche, but it was like, it's going to be about the music,
Yeah.
Um, but really it was we're going to put this record out. We're going to get out there as much as we can if opportunities present themselves, but
Yeah.
if 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 somebody's like, I can't do it, or whatever reason, it's very
Yeah.
it's like it is what it is.
Yeah.
That said, I'm not going to discount the idea of coming out to the West Coast. I would honestly love to. So who knows? We'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the reception that the new record has been getting. So,
Hmm.
I'm sure opportunities will present themselves, and hopefully
Yeah.
we can work.
I was just going to ask about the new record too, or the new album, see how that was going. I think you've released, before it came out, you released a couple of singles and I think a video of one. I can't think of the name of
Yeah.
it. Oblivion Liquor, I think it was.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And that was well received. And,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
oh, that's
Um,
good.
yeah. With the new record, like I was saying before, just kind of exploring different musical paths that maybe we started on in the first record, and choosing Oblivion Liquor for the single. We weren't we weren't sure if that would be the good choice, just but there's songs like we have got like the mid-tempo songs like Oblivion Liquor, and then the Blazers like To Kill for Nothing or Burial.
Hmm.
Um, and then there's some definite times where I was trying my hardest to channel Dimebag Daryl. So um, honestly, like any one of those songs, if you put out a single, it doesn't encapsulate us as a band. So
Right. So you need the whole record.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
just about to say. My intention always was to have the album be like an experience as a
Yeah.
whole rather than a collection of singles, you
That you
know?
can piecemeal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, you take any song um on its own and compare it to like another one, somebody might be like, how is this even the same band? But when you listen to all the songs together and just how they flow from one to the other, um, that that portion of it was almost just as important as the individual song rating, where it was like, how are um, there's a lot of little interlude pieces that kind of tie songs together and stuff, and yeah, a lot of care was went into that process, and
Yeah.
because I love albums. I'm a sucker for a good concept record,
Hmm.
The Wall. When I finally decided to dive below the surface of what The Wall is, and it honestly it blew up my entire conception of what music and what an album could be, Um, so yeah, I'm from that day forward, I was like a concept record guy.
And I say you went down the rabbit hole and found it very delightful because
Yes.
it's kind of how you.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you have it. The album is like a whole experience. We've got the interludes to tie the songs together. What about the artwork? Is there a tie into the artwork of the album? Is there um, any story behind how you chose to pick the album artwork?
Well, it's Sean, like I said, Sean handles the artistic side, and he decided early on that because he does his own artwork for Child Bite,
Oh, okay.
uh, and that's kind of like their style. So he early on was like, I don't want to create any art personally for this record,
Yeah.
where he would, he knows. Um, he knows so many talented people just from like all over the place. So um, he found an artist that he wanted to work with, and just with the dystopian type of view that we
Right.
talk about a lot. This piece with it's it's a bunch of dog mouths,
I
sort
thought
of.
I remember seeing fangs. Like,
Yeah,
I almost
yeah.
said
So
vampire, but
I mean, who knows?
yeah.
And that's what I love too, because I've gotten the entire spectrum of people being like, I don't even know like what that is, but it looks, it's menacing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, people thinking, yeah, is it a dog? Like, is it
Yeah.
vampire, whatever it is. But yeah, it's I think metaphoric of yeah, just the the world, and you know, if you let it, it'll chew you up and spit you out.
Spit you out. Yep. Absolutely. And that's
Um,
when I was a kid. I used to love going to Tower Records and getting the albums just for the artwork to look at it and see how it tied in and read the lyrics because we didn't have computers back then. So, but yeah, no, I do appreciate a good artwork and how it does kind of lend itself to that dystopian nature. So, that's awesome. So there's no tours coming on to your knowledge, like you're not planning to do another big leg of a tour. Um, but you got the album coming out. Is there anything else that your fans would like to know about you or what's going on with the band?
um, you know, one thing that I am preemptively excited for is you know, first record, like I said, it happened so quickly. We didn't even really have time to fully form as a band and just kind of like figure out
Yeah.
the extent of what we could do. Explored that a lot with the second record, and I like the direction that it took. So I think as we continue to build the personality of the band, I really like the idea of just keep keep on going down different
Yeah.
paths.
Yeah.
I think we get labeled a lot of times as like a grindcore band, or
Hmm.
but I don't honestly feel like that fits. Maybe more so on the first record, but
Okay.
definitely, um, there's I think there's more non-grind songs on this record than, I think the
Yeah.
balance, or it's equally balanced. So
Yeah.
you could call us a grind band, or you just call us a metal band. I don't know. Um, and I do like that, because the bands that I find most interesting are the ones that are difficult to define,
Yeah.
because to me that that shows that they're not just trying to fit into a little box to make it easier to market
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and just because I love so many different styles of music, so when I can experience more than one on the same record, that makes me even more happy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm excited just at the thought of the potential of what a third record could be. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what could end up on there? Um, I've got some ideas for sure, but who knows? Well,
So is this a scoop? Am I learning that you guys are going to go back into the studio soon?
oh,
Ah,
nothing concrete at the
yeah,
moment. The
yeah,
wheels, the wheels are the wheels never stop turning,
yeah, yeah,
which is um, equally great, and also it's almost like a schizophrenic voice in my head
yeah.
that I
Nonstop. Yeah,
that I wish would stop sometimes, but it just
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah. You
Every
wanted to sleep? No.
you're gonna think about this riff that you've been pondering for the last 2 days.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I really appreciate your time. I went over by 5 minutes. I apologize, but I appreciate your time. And I will make sure that this gets up in the next couple of days. And thank you so much. And,
Awesome.
be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Bye.